Hello, everyone. Welcome, 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 everyone. I am so pleased to be here. Thank you for joining us to this wonderful spirit service, spiritual service. I'm sorry, the Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship. This is us. We are glad, we are honored to welcome you here, both here on Zoom and on YouTube, and to welcome you at this very a small but growing family. Tonight, it's a special occasion. We're going to be honoring you also here with our service. We're going to be having a spiritual service. For the service, we have different parts, and we have parts where we will be leading the meditation with Reverend Mikel that I'm going to immediately introduce to you. And Reverend Eileen Casey Gonzalez is going to be giving us the lecture to inspire, to help us acknowledge some inner growth and knowledge. In this case, it's going to be about spiritual healing and the different modalities and whatever Reverend Eileen would like to share about that. Since there are a lot of people who are joining us also from Spain and Spanish-speaking countries, I'm going to briefly announce and introduce also in Spanish. Brevemente vamos a anunciar también en castellano para todos los que nos estéis viendo, tanto por Zoom como por YouTube. Bienvenidos a este oficio espiritual. En este oficio espiritual tendremos mensajes del Espíritu. Of course, we're going to be having the Spirit messages, what we call, the gift of Spirit. But we will also have meditation. Vamos a también tener la meditación con Reverendo Mikel, y Reverendo Eileen va a estar guiando la charla inspiracional, que en este caso va a ser sobre sanación espiritual. Es un honor y un placer estar con vosotros. Antes de empezar, before we begin, we're going to say our invocation prayer. So I welcome you. I invite you to join me with this invocation prayer. Mother, Father God, creator of all things, we ask you to please bless us with your love, to please allow your inner magnificent light to shine upon us, so our lights are brighter, our hearts are lighter, our minds are quieter. In these times of confusion, in these times of anger and hatred and fight, we ask you to please come upon us and to bless us, to give us the knowledge and the truth and the happiness, the joy and the inner knowing that we need to carry on with our earthly mission. And we ask you to please always guide us, keep us, and protect us. And we do say amen, amen, and amen. Before we continue, I'm going to just welcome our platform. My co-workers tonight at this service are Reverend Eileen Casey Gonzalez, like I said before, and Reverend Mikel. Reverend Eileen, I'm going to put you on spotlight if we find the button. Here you are, Reverend Eileen. I'm going to introduce Reverend Eileen later in more detail. Some of you may already know Eileen. I had the privilege of meeting Eileen many years ago. I don't even want to go there. I don't even remember how many years ago that was, but immediately it felt like brotherhood, like siblings, And it was really a special, the connection we had. And back in 2011, we had this idea, we had this project in our minds to create something like what you are acknowledging now, or you are witnessing now, the Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship. Reverend Eileen Gonzalez, she's an expert medium. You'll see that she can draw a spirit, that she can draw the faces of spirit, and she's a healer. She's been with the Halifax, Nova Scotia Spiritual Science Fellowship chapter for many, many years, since I think 1987. And she's a minister herself, of course. She's a clairvoyant, a medium, a healer, a teacher, and a wonderful, wonderful human being. I will come back to you, Eileen, later on when it's your time to do the talk, and I will give a little bit more of information on Eileen to everyone watching us live and watching us on Zoom later. Wonderful to have you here, Eileen. And now I'm going to introduce to you our next fella, our next friend, Reverend Mikel. Reverend Mikel, he comes from many, many years of service. And I know this, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Reverend Mikel. Reverend Mikel has gone through quite a lot of hardship throughout his life, but he's always, always, always dedicated his life to spirit, dedicated his life to serving spirit, to serving people. He never says no. If you need someone to help you, if you need anything from him, he will always say yes. And that's really, Mikel, if you don't mind me saying that, the true meaning of service, service to humanity. And I want to thank you for also making the time to be with us tonight. Reverend Mikel Hiltz, he's also our senior minister at the Halifax SSF, Spiritual Science Fellowship chapter, for many decades already, right? And Kindred Spirits really is pleased to welcome you, to welcome Reverend Mikel Hiltz to its board. Reverend Mikel, he oversees, all the operations of the Halifax chapter. And as a minister, Mikel considers himself privileged to perform the sacraments of marriage. And he has been really high demand, his ceremonies are so unique. And he performs also weddings and naming ceremonies. And I think the first one was back like in 2000, right? And Mikel finds the ministry most fulfilling. And like I said, he will always say yes. He's a truly dedicated service human being, very humble. And no matter how much pain he's undertaking, no matter what is happening in his life, he always finds time to go out of his way and to help people. And I think I can say the same also for Eileen. And he feels that this is the way that he fulfills his life, which is awesome, As a medium, Mikel has been in demand for more than 30 years. He's participated in different fairs in Montreal, in Halifax, Ottawa, other places. And his readings are very unique, very precise. He took the Spiritual Science Fellowship's mediumship development classes with the late Reverend Fred Cale. Reverend Fred Cale and others have also helped us, build the foundation of the Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship, also with Reverend Janine Olmsted, and both were founders of the Halifax chapter. And the classes took him back in a very long journey, and he discovered and reacquainted with his inner gifts that he already had since childhood. Like I said, he has a very unique, very precise gift of mediumship. This is what we call proof of survival mediumship. So Mikel, thank you also for joining us. Thank you, everyone. And this is our platform. This is us. We are going to be helping you and accompanying you in this soiree. We're going to be having a lot of fun, of course, with spirit, and we're going to be learning a lot of things about the spirit phenomena. But also we hope to be able to share a little bit of our lives and a little bit of our gifts. So first, we will have the meditation with Mikel Hiltz, with Reverend Mikel Hiltz. Then Eileen will lead us with the lecture, and later on, we will all share the gifts of spirits. My name is Reverend Mikel Lizarralde. I'm a Spanish-born, Basque-born medium. I was kidnapped in 2003 and gladly left my home to go study alongside Reverend Marilyn Rosner in Montreal, Canada. I went there for 6 months to a year, and I ended up staying 2.5 years. And I'm so sad, guys, that because of this virus, I'm not able to be there this summer. But hey, we have these online classes, right? The Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship, we don't have dogmas, we don't have creeds, we only have a few principles by which we follow our lives and we live our lives. It's 10 principles that can be summarized really in 7, and they're shared by many of other great spirit and religious movements around the world, around the globe. We really believe in true, unique, one God, in the infinite, creative, universal intelligence that some may call God and some may call differently. We believe that this phenomena and that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are expressions of the infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expressions and living in accordance therewith constitute true spirituality. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that the communication with the so-called dead, it's a fact. It's a universal communion of saints and spirits, also a fact. And this is something that is, something popped up on my screen. I'm sorry about that. I might have touched something. This is one of the, and we share some of the great beliefs and the great truths also shared by the great religious and spiritual movement throughout the world. We affirm that the practices of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, psychometry, or sensing, etc., are higher forms of intuition, and the communication with the spiritual world are both natural to human potential and gifts of a spirit, and that anyone can do it. And this is something that we really preach. We believe the morality contained in the golden rule: whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We also believe that forgiveness is a divine action restoring the communion with God, and that everyone is entitled to the divine pardoning. We affirm that the moral responsibility of the individual, and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We acknowledge that God has inspired masters, teachers, prophets, sages to enlighten and raise the consciousness of peoples of all races and faiths throughout the ages. And we affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. Basically, you can read them here. You can also read them at our website, kindredspiritsfellowship.com. And this is a golden rule. These principles, like I said before, there are no dogmas, there are no creeds, are principles that were channeled some many years ago by a medium, and by which we try to follow and live our lives, not only our services. And that, I think, it makes a big difference. When you know that life goes on after the change called death. This is something wonderful. Well, I think that without further ado, I think we can carry on and move on to the meditation with Reverend Mikel Lizarralde. So, dear Michael, now we're going to welcome our next guest, Reverend Eileen Casey Gonzalez. She's pure Canadian, but Gonzalez comes from her married name. She married a wonderful Cuban brother of mine, a Cuban fellow. And of course, we honor both heritages. Reverend Eileen Casey Gonzalez, she's very active with spirit and the spiritual communities, and she herself was, and I think will be, the main pusher of creating something very unique in Alberta, in Canada, and not only Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship, but other arenas and other gathering, yeah, platforms as well. Reverend Eileen is ordained, like I said before, through the Spiritual Science Fellowship in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and she first arrived there in 1987, and since then she has been very active, and she enjoyed many aspects of being involved with the ministry, including leading spiritual services, working as a demonstration medium, event planning, and teaching various classes, including mediumship development. And in 2016, she moved to Edmonton, Alberta, and she's a pusher also there to create something very special. And, some place like an oasis, and she's been very active because she's committed to that, and that's her true dedication. And she is one of the founding members of the Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship. Reverend Eileen has enjoyed working with several spiritual energy healing modalities and techniques since she began her own spiritual journey. She has training in Amadeus healing technique. She's a certified quantum touch practitioner and has been a certified instructor as well with quantum touch, as well as having been trained in crystal healing, some hypnosis, and she also has a bachelor degree in therapeutic counseling. And like I said, she's a certified hypnotherapist by the National Guild of Hypnotists. Reverend Eileen has always had a deep respect to connectedness of humanity throughout different world religious traditions. She finds joy in the similarities within many world religious traditions. These similarities, she feels, could be the keys to helping us bind together in the brotherhood of man instead of separating us from each other. It is her hope that one day the truth of the love of creation within all sacred ways may be understood, and that we are all tied together with the worship of the one universal creator. That's so beautiful and unique, Eileen. Reverend Eileen has ties to several faiths. She was raised Christian, then became a spiritualist in the early 80s, and after years of journey while in Cuba, she received her hand of Orula in the tradition of Ifa in 2007 and became a Mother Incas in Palo Moyombe, a deeply shamanic tradition from the Congo. In 2014, Reverend Eileen also became a priestess. This, I don't know if I can say all this, for lack of a very descriptive word, that's the word we have in the religious tradition, Lumuni or Ocha. I'm not good with those names, so my apologies. All three of these African traditions are deeply spiritual, philosophical, and fit in perfectly with the understandings of spiritualism. And this is what we do, we focus on the similarities, never in the differences. The work of the Spiritual Science Fellowship, both in Montreal and Halifax, and now the Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship, is that of great love for Reverend Eileen. Her years of dedication to the SSF and the KSSF come from how these organizations create a special place for the community, a place to come to from all faiths or no specific faith. Everyone's welcome, a place in which it is known that we all possess natural spiritual gifts, and a place in which it is known that there is a continuation of the soul after the change called death. Of course, if you want to know more about Reverend Eileen, you can log on to our website, kindredspiritsfellowship.com or soul2soulmedium.com. Reverend Eileen, after this magnificent introduction, will welcome you to lecture us on healing, on spiritual healing.
Well, Mikel, thank you. Wow. Okay, so when we were able to do our live events here in Edmonton, the last time that we were able to meet together with our group, there was a desire and a want to know about spiritual energy healing, and I promised that we'd do a talk on that. So here we go. We're delivering our promises. Um, Before I get into the talk, I just want to ask everyone a couple of questions to think about. And that is, what is a spiritual energy healer? And what makes a spiritual energy healer successful? So before I give you my answers to those questions, I want to begin today by giving you secrets as to all energy healing works. First, though, I need to explain what energy healing is. Spiritual energy healing is a process of sharing to help another to move out of a state which is causing unbalance, which can cause in the body or in the mental field disruption or distress. Spiritual energy healing, it can also help with mental healing, and it can provide healing to different situations in our lives. The process of spiritual energy healing, it always involves pulling energy from outside of us, from a source, to be harnessed when we're working to assist another or ourselves. This process of spiritual energy healing should always involve harnessing energy from a source outside of ourselves. And that the reason for this is that if we use our own energy, we can be depleted. So we always draw from an outside source. Actually, that's one of the biggest mistakes that many that are new to spiritual energy healing can make. And that is that they attempt to work with their own energy. And you know what, folks? We're never able to truly help another if we're not good ourselves. So we can't give away our own energy. So we always pull from another source. So how do we work with spiritual energy healing? And can anyone work with spiritual energy healing? Well, I'm going to share something with you that many may not want you to realize, because the fact is it can hurt pocketbooks. You see, energy healing is a field that draws in millions and millions of dollars yearly by drawing in people to learn many different techniques. Some of the techniques for energy healing can be very complicated, when the basis of this is really very simple. Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that learning different techniques to aid you as a spiritual energy healer is a bad thing. Actually, it's really good to have different ways of doing things. Personally, I'm trained in a few different techniques myself, and as Mikel said, I've been an instructor. What I'm saying here is that you don't have to have any special training in order to share as a spiritual energy healer. We all have the ability to help each other with spiritual energy healing. I can't stress that enough. If you have the ability to care for another and to want to make them feel better, then you have the ability to share with spiritual energy healing. The process is simple, and it simply involves your caring and something as simple as a prayer request. The big key to spiritual energy healing is your ability to hold caring for another and then to connect to a higher vibration source. Think about it. What's the first thing that a mother does when a child's hurt? She expresses her love and caring, and she wants to help them to feel better. At our core, we all know love and caring because we come from love. We come from a loving source, a creative source, which may be referred to as God by some, but is known to many by many different names in many different ways. The thing is that creative source cares for us. It wants us to be whole. And it likes that we wish for others to be whole. You know, with this experience of being loved and cared for, without this experience of being loved and cared for, we could never know what it's like. That's because we as human beings, we can't know something unless we've known it from the past. And we know love. We know love in our soul from our Creator. The process for all to be successful energy healers is pretty simple. All we have to do is to connect to a higher loving source and ask that source for help. And then we receive any instructions about the process and follow them. One of the most basic ways of working is to ask Source or Creator to channel through you spiritual energy healing to flow through to help another who you're wishing to share with. This can be done by just saying a prayer or making a request, and then placing your hands on a person or in an area of distress or in their energy field. And then you just allow the energy to flow through and trust. It can be that simple. Many don't realize that there's nothing fancy about working with spiritual energy healing, as it's one of the easiest things that we can share as caring human beings. There are so many methods to work with spiritual energy healing out there, but I'm going to give you the keys to how all of them work and why they work. Sounds like a lot, but really it isn't. It's pretty simple. See, there's a natural law of energy that works like this. When two similar systems come into contact with each other, but are carrying two different vibrational frequencies, one of two things is going to occur. Either the higher vibrational system will entrain and come to balance with the lower vibrational system, or the lower vibrational system will entrain and come into balance with the higher vibrational system. This is something that's known as resonance and entrainment. To give you an example of how this works, if you have two grandfather clocks, you know the old clocks, maybe with a cuckoo, or the clocks that had a pendulum that swung side to side? Well, if you have two in the wall and their pendulums are like swinging out of sync, with a little time, what will happen is the two of them will sync up and they'll start syncing. The pendulums will start going at the same rate. This is the same for biological systems. Actually, they discovered that in labs, disembodied frog hearts, when electrically stimulated, if they're beating out of sync, with a little time, eventually they'll start beating together. Boom, 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 boom. And what that means in terms of energy is that if two similar systems are at different frequencies, then one system, either the lower frequency will raise to match the higher vibration, or the lower system, the higher system will lower to raise the lower vibration system. The key is to keep the energy field high so that the lower vibrational system has the opportunity to raise to the frequency of the higher vibration. Excuse me. In times of body distress or in life circumstances that cause distress, what happens is that it begins to bring us down to a little lower vibrational frequency, which causes things to go a little bit out of balance. And what happens with spiritual energy healing is that when we introduce that higher vibration to a field of the lower vibrational energy, and we keep it there, then the vibration will raise. And that allows for blocks to be removed. It allows for the body to ease, to be able to let go of blocks. It can ease pain. It allows for healing to take place naturally. It doesn't matter what the spiritual modality is. That's how they work. A higher vibrational field is introduced. to a vibrational field which may be having trouble. So the lower vibrational field can rise, and then blocks can naturally become released. Now, one of the highest vibrations ever measured was that of a state of caring and love. That, folks, you can Google, because it was the work of a Nobel Peace Prize winner. So look that up. It's amazing to me that a man won the Nobel Peace Prize for just teaching us something that we naturally know. Love is one of the highest vibrations we can share. So to sum up again what spiritual energy healing is, it is the act of using an outside energy source to aid another, and it works through the laws of resonance and entrainment. The process can be as simple as asking Source to channel through you energy healing to share with another. And because love and caring are of the highest vibrations, and due to the fact that when a higher vibration is introduced to the field of a lower vibration, the lower vibration field will raise, allowing for a natural occurrence of energy to take place in our bodies. Healing occurs in our body when the higher vibration field is introduced, because our body is free to make those adjustments that are out of balance. But the magical thing about this is that ultimately our bodies know what they need to do. They have their own intelligence, and they can do it pretty quickly once a higher vibration energy field is introduced. Now, I can go into a lot more about this, but we don't have time today. But I really wanted to share with you the key to how that works. So, once again, it really doesn't matter what the spiritual energy healing modality is. Resonance and entrainment and your caring are the key to how it works. Now, there is something else that is a key to how spiritual energy healing works, and that is to work and to avoid all judgment. We all know, well, I don't know if we all know, but I'm going to say that I truly believe that on our earthly journey, we cannot know all of our destiny. We don't know all of the hows and whys of what happens in our lives, and sometimes they're revealed later. So if we don't know that about us, then how can we judge it about anyone else? The thing is, though, is as human beings, we do get judging. We judge ourselves and we judge others. But with spiritual energy healing, it's so important that we do not judge the process. We truly, truly cannot understand everything about life experiences. So that means that any of us working with spiritual energy healing should never get caught up into ego and wondering, was I successful? Did this work or that work? Because it's not our job to judge it. Our job is to provide a feel of a positive, higher vibration energy field. And then the person who's receiving this can use that energy. Actually, it's only the person who's receiving the energy healing who is called the healer, for they are the true healer. They're the ones that know what to do with the energy and how to use the energy in the way that's best going to help them in their lives. Okay, so one thing we all know as we walk on the earth plane is that everything has its own time and place, and that if we try to force it along, then things can get a little bit wacky. So again, please, no judgment when it comes into energy healing. We can't force the process. Now, at the beginning of this, I asked you to think about what a spiritual energy healer was. And I want to share with you a definition because I think it's brilliant I think it's brilliant. It's from the author of the book on Quantum Touch, The Power to Heal, Richard Gordon. And he says, a healer is someone who's sick and got better. And now I'm going to give you my definition of what an excellent energy healer is. It's someone who is sick and got better without putting bias or judgment on the process or outcomes. Through my many years of being involved with spiritual energy healing and spiritualism, something that I can tell you is that the most amazing energy healers out there, people are called energy healers or spiritual healers out there, the best of the best, they don't put any judgment into their work. They do what they've got to do, and they walk away and they let it go. And that's our job when we're working with spiritual energy healing. That's it. The whole point that I want you to get out of this today is that each and every one of us can act as an energy healer, and we can do it naturally. We don't have to take extensive training unless we want to. And actually, I'm going to give you a very simple 8-step process for doing energy healing before I tie things up. Step 1, as with any type of spiritual energy healing, as with any type of spiritual work that we do, we should always, always, always start by invoking spiritual protection. This can be done with prayers, and if you like, a simple visualization. Just ask your higher creative source, or what some may like to call God, to keep you protected and safe from any negative energies. And you can also ask for that for your friend whom you wish to be helping. Then, if you like, you can imagine yourself filled and surrounded with a protective, beautiful force of white light. Number 2, ask your higher creative source or God to channel through you energy healing. Number 3, connect to anything that you can think of while you're working with the process that inspires love of your heart. Think of something like a newborn baby, or how wonderful a puppy makes you feel, and hold that energy while you're working and channeling. Number 4, imagine energy flowing through you, and you can allow it to flow through your hands, to flow through another. If you want, you can imagine somebody between your hands. They don't have to be with you to do this. You can place your hands on somebody or just in their energy feeling. But then imagination is the key to the process. Imagine it flowing through you, and then you may begin to feel it flow through you. Number 5, when you feel the energy is flowing and when you feel it's finished, you're finished. You're finished. Number 6, and it's an important step, once you know that you are finished with the energy healing, you have to break the connection with the person you're working with. It's done. So you disconnect from that person. You can imagine the faucet tap being turned off, but you remove your hands if you need to. You can see the connection being broken. Number 7, give thanks. Gratitude is the key to so many things in life. Give thanks to Creator for the opportunity to share in this way, and give thanks to the person that you've been sharing with for allowing them to let you to share with them. Number 8, you're finished. Detach from any expectations or outcomes or results. You're finished, it's done. What happens with that energy is up to the person that you've gifted it to. And they know exactly, their higher being knows exactly to do with that energy. Their higher being knows what to do with that energy. And their body certainly knows how to work with that energy to the best of that soul's experiences and what they're meant to do on the earth. Now, there's so much more that we could share, but our time is limited here. But if you're interested in finding out more about doing spiritual energy healing, Maybe you can take a workshop with one of us from the Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship. But check out other modalities. The thing is just remember, it doesn't have to be complicated. We're all energy healings. If we care, we can share, we can connect to a higher source, and work to provide an energy field which another can use. So, just before I go, there's something I do want to say is that it's never good to force any type of energy healing on anyone. A good policy is to never work with energy healing or spiritual energy healing unless you have permission. This is an act of love in sharing this way. But you can say a special prayer, but never try to force energy on another, because it's not a nice thing to do. So that's something that I just like to give a reminder. Always ask for permission to share. You can say a prayer to Creator, but always ask for permission to work as a spiritual healer. So I hope you've been able to take something from what I've been able to share with you, because I've shared it with openness and love from my heart, as my teachers have shared with me. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Reverend Eileen, for that beautiful, spirit-filled, heartfelt lecture. Very academic, by the way. I hope I've seen some of you taking notes. I hope you did take notes, because Eileen is a wonderful, wonderful teacher. Well, now it's our time for some very brief announcements. Before I go on, I want to say that during the part of the spirit messages of the gift of spirit, there may be, if you need it, there may be a message, a possibility for you to get your message in Spanish or Basque or sometimes even French. Luego, cuando lleguemos a los mensajes, si alguien necesita español o otro idioma, incluso un poquito de francés, podemos hacerlo. Sí, para eso tenés que estar en Zoom. Yeah, that's only done by Zoom, not on YouTube. Okay, so I want to ask you to please check out our website, Kindred Spirits. I want to say it right, kindredspiritsfellowship.com. We have healing requests. We announce our events. We have a blog. We have interesting announcements. There you can find out about our workshops, about our live events, about our physical events, live events as well. So please log on and check out kindredspiritsfellowship.com. And if you haven't done it yet, go on Google and check out our social media, Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship on Facebook, and follow us, like us, Kindred Spirits SF on Instagram. Follow us, messages, comment on our posts, and also on YouTube, Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship. So follow us and like us and comment, and we want to build a community, and you are our community. So we have everything that is in our hands available for you to to help, and to also help raise some vibration, some knowledge, I should say. I also want to remind you that we are a not-for-profit organization, incorporated interfaith spiritualist organization, and we're incorporated with both the provincial and the national government here in Canada. We do need some funds though, and sometimes the only way that we can get funds is through donations. So if someone feels generous enough and they want to give a donation, you can do that by Interact or wire transfer. And I would recommend that you write to us to our email, through our website, and Eileen or some of us will explain how this is done. Also on the website, you can find the spiritual healing request, and you just type in your name or the name of the person who is in need of healing, and we will be sending spiritual healing to that person. Kindred Spirits Spiritualist Fellowship is also available for membership, and the membership will give you different discounts and different promo options and different special VIP passes. And it's only $20, 20 Canadian dollars per year. The year goes from September 1st to August 31st. And as I said, it gives you a lot of benefits. And we do have also workshops and classes. Kindred Spirits Spiritual Fellowship is glad to announce that not only presential and present, also live classes and teachings. And we announce all that on our social media and on our website. So please find out about us, log on, comment, follow, click, say like to everything we say. And we want to hear from you because you are our community. You build our community. And we're also open, to what you may want to hear. What changes would you like us? What would you like us to bring for the next lecture, for the next service, for the next topic? We want to do this once a month at least. So be ready. And I think that the link may also be the same for Zoom. Well, before we move on to spirit messages, to the gift of spirit, and to kind of raise the vibration, I want to do something that I love doing, which is singing. And of course, if you already know the song, you can play along and sing with us and join us. Even though you're muted, doesn't matter. Your love, your heart, your vibration, your intentions do get to the other side of the ocean and to the other side of the screen. And I'm pretty sure you guys know this song. We're going to listen and sing Saint Francis. I have to admit, guys, that this is a very special song to me, and it makes me very emotional and it makes me very teary when I listen to it because I can really, really feel the words. Such an ancient song, but still so up to date, more than ever. Now, more than ever, we need this song. And I would encourage everyone to grab the lyrics and to get up, get out of bed every morning and to sing from the top of their lungs into the world, because we need this more than ever. We need to rise the vibration more than ever today. Anyways, we're going to move on now to the gift of spirit, to the portion where we both, Reverend Eileen, Reverend Michael, and myself, are going to be sharing our gifts of spirits with you. So what I like to do, and I'm gonna just suggest, but you guys can work however you feel comfortable. I will scroll through the Zoom participants, and then I would choose a person, and then if you need Spanish, please go like that. Si necesitáis a la hora de recibir el mensaje, que ahora vamos a pasar a la porción del mensaje, si necesitáis que sea en español, hacer así, os daremos voz, yo lo traduciré. If you go like that, that will mean that you do need Spanish, and then I will translate. Okay? I was thinking that maybe Eileen, you wanna do like one painting, and then Michael can do a few, I can do a few, and then we move on back to you, and we go like back and forth like that. Is that okay with you? Yes? You want to start with your first message, with your first drawing, Eileen?
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for allowing us to do this job. We weren't a little bit over our time, but it's okay, because Spirit always wants to bring joy and happiness and laughter. And they want to let us know, that we never die, that we carry on living after the change called death. And sometimes they give very energetic, very lively messages, and they disclose secrets, and they let us know little things that they share with us in our daily lives. Um, um, and that's because they want to prove us that they're there, that they haven't died, that they remain alive, that they're next to us, that they're close to us. Por favor, seguirnos en las redes sociales. Check out our website, kindredspiritsfellowship.com. Mirar la página web, Facebook, Instagram, Kindred Spirits Fellowship. Follow us, like us, click us, comment on this video also on YouTube. And I hope that we gather together another time and that we do come together another time for a spirit. Everyone in this board, in this group, is a volunteer. We only do this for the great love that we have for the world of spirit, and to be able to show you that there's light, that there's hope, that there's a great new world beyond the limits and the limitations of our brains, and of that not always reason can reason with that. As a way to finish, I'm just gonna put on some mantras, and you can leave as you please the Zoom meeting. And again, I want to thank Reverend Mikel, Reverend Eileen, for making this happen. It was a true honor, a great pleasure, and thank you again to every participant. Muchísimas gracias a todos los que habéis estado ahí. Gracias por participar. Vamos a poner unos mantras y según lo estéis sintiendo, podéis ir saliendo de la reunión. Muchísimas gracias. Thanks a lot. Merci à tous. Au revoir. Adiós. Ciao. Bye. Hasta luego.